Okay, so this is the video of my family tree. I'm gonna have to do it closer so you can see it a lot better. Sorry. So this right here, I started it from my grandmother down. So my grandmother, who is Pearlie Rogers, who was born on July 26, 1943. And then my grandfather, Theo Allen, who was born March 13th, 1943. They had 6 kids total, who Raven Angela Allen, who was born August 1st, 1966. Ricky Allen, who was born November 27th, 1964. Ryan Allen, who was born May 3rd, 1971. Theo Allen Jr., who was born October 22nd, 1963. Reginald Rogers, who was born 11/26/62. And then Lexington Curry, who was born 02/25/85. So here, so now will be my generation, which my mother is Raven Angela Allen. So my name is Raven Jamise Reeves, and I was born March 14th, 1995. My brother, Marcus Fonville, he was born on January 28th, 2001. And then my youngest brother, who was Antonio Fonville, who was born March 1st, 2002. Going down, Ricky Allen, he has one son who is me and my brother's cousin. He was born May 5th, 2000. The next is Ryan Allen, my uncle, who is our next cousin, who is Jordan Allen, and she was born October 3rd, 2005. Then here is one of my other uncles, Theo Allen Jr. He has 3 sons. His first son is Fashawn Heggie. His second son is Nicholas Allen, who was born August 9th, 2011. And then his third son, who was born May 5th, 2016. My next uncle, who is Reginald Allen, who's his 2 kids is Corey Rogers, and she was born in June 21st. And then his son, Preston Rogers, who was born December 1st, 1994. I feel like my family tree, or all the family trees, relate to family and social system. This because, of course, the family tree is related to families and about our different generations and who we grew up with in the household, who we grew up as a family, and aunts, uncles, cousins. Also relating out of most, my grandfather and my grandmother were married at one point, and then of course them ended up divorcing. It did cause an effect in with their kids. So most of the time it was kind of hard because my grandfather is a truck driver, so we don't really see him as much, and it did take a big effect on his kids because at a certain point in time they didn't really see him all the time. They barely spoke to him, and now the fact that he lives in a different state, it's a lot harder because we don't really get to see him as much as often because he lives somewhere else and he drives trucks, so he's always in different cities. So it's like sometimes the only time we do get to see him is when he's like somewhere close to North Carolina or somewhere that we could drive and he can actually see his grandkids and try to see his kids. So that did take a big part on his kids and also his grandkids because we didn't really like have our grandfather around. And also the marriage and them getting divorced kind of did a big impact. I am the second grandchild to go to college, and also I do plan on graduating, so I will say I am the second child to graduate college. So that's a big part. Education is a big part of our family because, you know, it's always been drilled in our heads, like in order to be something or try to be something, you know, you have to go to school, you have to get good grades, you have to graduate, you know. So it wasn't like my parents, no, none of my cousins' parents, my uncles, nobody was like they were always a big part in our education. You know, they always want to know what we were doing. Even in church, our church is a big part of our education. You know, they always want to know what kind of grades you have and what you have. And even with me being through kindergarten up, they will always take our report cards. They would take copies of our report cards, make copies of it, calculate our GPA. So I do think so I do believe family and social systems does relate. Well, our family is a big part in relates to family social systems in that way, just because family is a big part in everything that I do, and it has an impact on everything that we have done so far.